بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وموالاه وعلى من تبع هداه إلى يوم يلقاه. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah. May peace and blessing be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. We will, inshallah, head towards the topic directly, and the topic is إن تنصروا الله ينصركم ويثبت أقدامكم. If you champion Allah, if you stand up for Allah, Allah will champion you and He will make your foot stand to be holy. This is an ayah which represents a universal law. Just like the sun to rise is from the east and it was set in the west until the day of resurrection. Before that, the sun will rise from the west, the opposite side. But this universal law, Allah had put it as a universal law specified to the believers. In tansurullah yansur. If you champion Allah, you stand up for Allah, Allah will stand up for you. And He will make your feet to hold, to steadfast. وَيُثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَكُمْ. So the factors of victory, they don't change. From the time of the Prophet ﷺ, even from the time of the prophets before him, the facts are the same. Only that changes is the time, the place, and the people. Those are the ones who changes. But the factors to gain the victory, they do not change. So if we understand those factors of victory, then we will not be weak. And we will pass through the tribulation with ease. So the first thing that we need to talk about, the importance of the knowledge, and that is the knowledge of the deen. You know, before, at the time of the people of Nuh alayhi salam, the first shirk that had entered the ummah at that time because of the disappearance of knowledge and the prevalence of ignorance. And that is the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas, it's like Bukhari, when he said, and he talked about the four names, Wad, wa Sawa', wa Yaghuth, wa Ya'uq, wa Nasr, 5 names mentioned in the Quran. And those names, he said, that belong to righteous people from the people of Nuh alayhi salam. And when those people had died, the people wanted to imitate them. So they started going to their graves and lingering around the graves. Shaitan had come to them and he said, verily, if you want to remember them, you can't just remember them when you come to the graveyards. You need to remember them even in your houses. At your houses, that means 24/7. So he came to them just like a sheikh, giving them an admonishing. So he said, build a miniature, make a statue, a little one, and make it in your house. So every time you look at it, it will remind you of those righteous people and will motivate you to do the righteous good deeds. And they've done so. And by the way, you need to have a screwdriver to tighten this up. It's every time it goes like this and that. Yeah, just leave it like this and see, inshallah. Right. Shaitan came to the generation after. You know, Shaitan is immortal, doesn't die. Allah had given him that. So he came to the following generation and told them that your forefathers, your parents, used to worship them. So Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, فَلَمَّا نُسِخَ الْعِلْمِ, when the ilm disappeared, there's no scholars to tell them what the Shaitan is saying is not correct. So the knowledge disappeared. So when the نُسِخَ الْعِلْمِ, so the ilm was being lifted, no knowledgeable, no scholars, قال عُبِدَتْ تِلْكَ الْأَصْنَامُ. These statues started to be worshipped. That's how the first shirk had entered the mankind from the beginning. And also the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the last thing that will enter the ummah is going to be shirk. And it's because, again, the knowledge disappears. Prophet ﷺ, he said, لا تقوم الساعة, hour will not take place until حتى يرفع العلم. Ilm will be taken away. قال, and then the jahl, the ignorance will spread. So we have knowledge is taken out and replaced by jahl, ignorance. قال حتى تضطرب آليات نساء دوس حول ذي الخلصة. Until the woman who belongs to this tribe is called Daws, well known, will start rotating with their backside shaking around the goddess called Dhul Khalasa, around a statue, an idol. So those people, Muslims, muwahideen, the disappearance of the knowledge, prevalence of the ignorance, what happened made them to make shirk. Prophet Allah said, لا تقوم الساعة حتى تعبد اللات والعزى. The hour will not take place until Allat wal Uzza will be worshipped. So the disappearance of the knowledge and the disappearance and the prevalence of the ignorance resulted in such a thing. And that is why we find, because of this, shirk had entered this ummah. And when the shirk entered this ummah, this is the biggest tribulation, biggest fitna. Fitna, the biggest one is the tribulation of one. It's not the biggest tribulation that our brothers are being killed here and there. Tribulation is in your deen. That's the biggest one. Your deen is gone, you're finished. Because if the people die, you'll be replaced by the people. But when the ideology disappears and replaced by another ideology, that's the danger. That's your deen. That's the fitna. وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. Allah says the fitna is harder, much stronger, and more impact than killing. So this is why we say the fitna is a big thing, because there's no knowledge. And when there is no knowledge, there will be as well killing. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said that لا تقوم الساعة, that will not take place until knowledge disappears, ignorance will prevail, and harj will increase. Messenger of Allah, what is harj? People killing one another. Killing. Oh, Messenger of Allah, we have killed in such and such year 70,000 from the kuffar. He said, no, not the killing of the kuffar. You killing one another. Messenger of Allah, we're going to be killing one another? Do we have our brains? He said, no, you don't have brains. Brains will disappear. That time, the brains will be gone. People will think they are upon something, but they're upon nothing. So the people now, because of this ignorance and because of the fitna, two things now. Ignorance resulted into fitna. These two things made the people not to listen to the scholars and to listen to their whims and desires. Prophet ﷺ, he said, تعرض الفتن على القلوب كالحصير عودا عودا. Fitan will be imposed upon the hearts. I mean, the hearts will be exposed to the fitan, to the tribulation, to these fitan. Just like the reed mat. You know the reed mat that you pray on it? How is it being woven? Stick by stick. And you go to the factory, they put stick and then a stick. Same thing here, the description of the Prophet, that the heart will be exposed to the fitna, and the fitna will be entering it stick by stick, stick by stick. So the Prophet of Allah is saying that these fitan will endanger the hearts. Then the Prophet of Allah, he said, فَأَيُّمَا قَلْبٍ أُشْرِبَهَا, any heart that he had absorbed this fitna and accepted that fitna, نُكِتَتْ فِيهِ نُقْتَةٌ سَوْدَى, a black spot will be placed on top of it. قال وأي قلب أنكرها, and any heart which rejected that revelation, did not go into it, did not indulge into it, is safe because he surrounded himself with knowledge. قال نُكِتَتْ فِيهِ نُكْتَةٌ بَيْضَاء, that is, a white spot will be placed on top of it. حتى تكون القلوب على قلبين, until the heart will become of two parts. قلب أبيض كالصفا, heart which is pure, white, like the shining rock, smooth shining rock. The smooth shining rock represents, number one, hardness and strength, and represents as well shining. So when the bid'ah or the fitnah comes to it, it will be not absorbing it like the sponge, it will be bouncing it back. with the same power it came. With the same power it came. قال قلب أبيض كالصفا لا تضره فتنة ما دامت السماوات والأرض. No fitna will affect that heart as long as the heaven and the earth are holding. That means there's no day of resurrection, because on the day of resurrection the heaven will drop, and then the crack. So he said, until the day of resurrection, this heart will not be affected by the fitna. And the second type of heart, aswad, murbad, dark. Murbad means, billah, like you find the rust, the thing which is fungus, rusty, kalkuzi mudakhi, like the upside down cup. The upside down cup, if you put it in the ocean, it will not carry water. Take it out, still empty. So no matter how much you're going to dip it into, if you take it out, it's not going to take anything. This is the heart, because it hasn't taken anything from قال الله قال رسول. كالكوز مجخية لا يعرف معروفا ولا ينكر منكرا إلا ما أشرب من هواه. He does not enjoy good, nor he forbids evil, except from what he knows from his own desires. So because of the fitna, first, the disappearance of the knowledge resulted in the fitna, tribulations, resulted in these people now following the whims and desires. So you look at them now, do they listen to the scholars? Are they going to the tube of Sheikh so-and-so and so-and-so? The Sheikh's going, brothers, the one who's got grey hair, not the kids. The one who's got grey hair, old. He's the Sheikh. Do they go to that? Or do they go to YouTubers? The ones who are entertaining. And he's running the show. Mr. Twitter, Mr. Facebook, and Mr. YouTube, these are the running the show. This is not knowledge, Akhwan. You can't gain knowledge through YouTube like that. It doesn't give you, it gives you here and there, but it doesn't give you a proper knowledge. Wallahi, there's no knowledge there. There's fitan there. Yes, a person, I understand, he cannot take the knowledge except and bu'd online, yes, but these are talking about entertainment. From one, now before we have YouTube, we have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, now we have shorts. Shorts, one after the other. Flick. Non-stop. The person finds himself wasting hours. Nothing. No fitna. So, now, this fitna is going to last as long as this ignorance is lasting. That is what the companion whom the Prophet of Allah, he said to us, listen to him if he talks. Abu Abdurrahman, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, كيف إذا لبستكم فتنة? What is going to happen to you when fitna comes on to you? قال يربو فيها الصغير ويحرم فيها الكبير. The young will get old and the old will become very, very old. قال ويتخذها الناس سنة. And this fitna becomes the sunnah. People that think this is the norm, this is the correct thing. Because it's taken so long, people think this is the correct thing. قال ويتخذها الناس سنة فإذا غيرت, and if it's to be changed, even to sunnah, back to sunnah, I said, no, the sunnah is being changed. But that's actually a bid'ah. So now when you want to go and demolish a wali tomb, will tell you Wahhabi. Because these people have seen the shirk, they've seen the tombs, they've seen these things, so they got used to it. And it became the norm. If you want to demolish it, they demolish you before you demolish it. They will kill you before you are trying to put it down. Because it became what? The norm. The heart had absorbed it. Fitan, tribulation, bit by bit, taking a long time. Abu Abdurrahman, when is this going to take place? He said, إِذَا كَثُرَ جُهَلَاؤُكُمْ. Too many ignorance. كثر. وَقَلَّتْ فُقَهَاؤُكُمْ. Very few scholars. وَقَلَّتْ أُمَنَاؤُكُمْ. And your trustworthy are very few. قال وَتُفُقِّهَ لِغَيْرِ الدِّينِ. And people seek knowledge to other than the deen. Anything but the deen. Physics, stars, whatever. قال وَالْتُمِسَتِ الدُّنْيَا بِعَمَلِ الْآخِرَةِ. And the dunya will be sought with sincerity, like the person is sincere to get the akhirah. He's so sincere in the dunya. He wants to get it to the last drop of it. Not the same for the akhirah. And that is the fitness taking place here, because of these factors. So ignorance led to tribulation and fitan, and fitan at the moment, they're lasting for long. People not listening to the haqq and listening to the batil and listening to what is following their whims and desire. That is why. طيب. We have now these fitan from one time to another. It varies how strong they are. Some fitan are smaller than the others. And the Prophet of Allah, he said, the tribulation will come, يُرَقِّقُ بَعْضُهَا بَعْضًا. The one comes, it will show to the one before, it's nothing. True or not, you passed through fitan before. And each one comes after. This makes the one before is nothing. Water it down. حتى يقول هذه هي مهلكتي. And each person will say, this is the one I'm going to be finished with. This is the one going to affect me. This is the one going to doom me. And then he will live to another fitna. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ, he said, ما من عام إلا والذي بعده شر منه حتى تلقوا ربكم. There is not a single year would pass except that the following one will be what? Worse. Until you meet your Lord. ما من عام إلا والذي بعده شر منه حتى تلقوا ربكم. قال أنس سمعته من نبيكم صلى الله عليه وسلم. Hadith Anas. I've heard it from the Prophet. So every year passes, following one will be worse. Of course, there will be exceptions. We know that after the Dajjal comes Isa alayhi salam, that's better. We know after the Hajjaj already had come Umar ibn Aziz, that was better. But that is like one-off, tanfisa. But if you look at the time of Al-Hajjaj in terms of how many scholars, to compare it with the time of Umar ibn Aziz who came afterwards, how many scholars you find the time of Al-Hajjaj is better? Al-Hajjaj is a tyrant leader. He's on his own. If you keep him out, the time of the Hajjaj is better than the time when, at the time of Umar ibn Aziz, there were lots of diverted and deviant sects at that time, which wasn't the same at the time of Al-Hajjaj. But anyway, as a scholar, they said, لَا بُدَّ لِلنَّاسِ مِنْ تَنْفِيسًا. People has to have some sort of a breathing space sometimes. It's not going to be all the time, because you're going to be in despair. Hang on a second, why should I do anything? Because the following is going to be worse. But that is in general. That is in general. Ya Ikhwani. Now, after this, we have the hadith of Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman radiallahu anhu, which told us that the fitan is going to be kalbahr, just like the waves. One day, Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu is sitting amongst companions, and other than the companions, the followers, during the caliphate or the reign of his khilafah. And he said, أَيُّكُمْ يَحْفَظُ حَدِيثَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ فِي الْفِتْنَةِ. Who amongst you memorizes the hadith of the Prophet of Allah regarding the tribulation, fitan? And I don't want the fitan which can be expiated by the salah, siyam, and zakat, which is a small fitan. I want the fitan which waves like the sea, the ocean, the big ones. So Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, he said, but, O leader of the believers, between you and those fitan is a gate. Big gate, strong gate. It's a gate. So Umar, he said, test it. And he knows. قال, أيكسر أم يفتح? Is it going to be broken? So the gate lock is going to be broken? It's going to be open. The difference is if it's open, you can lock it back again. But if it's broken, you can't lock it back again. That's it. It's open. So he said, yuksar. So it will be broken. He said, La umma lak. La yughlaqu abadan. Then he's never going to close the gate. And Umar, he knows. So he left. Those who were around Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, they asked, does Umar know who is that gate? He says, yes, just like he knows tomorrow is after today. 100%. He said, we were scared and fearing to ask, who is that gate? So we sent somebody called Masruq and asked. So he asked, who's that gate? He said, Umar. So Umar, he knows he's going to be killed. Umar, he knows he's going to be one of the martyrs. Because the Prophet of Allah, one day he was on Uhud. With him, Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman. So when Uhud shook like a small earthquake, Prophet of Allah kicked it with his foot. Uhud, stay still. Don't move. Top of you, a Prophet and a Siddiq and two martyrs. Who is the Siddiq? Abu Bakr. Who is the Prophet? Who are the two martyrs? Umar and Uthman. So when Umar was stabbed, he wasn't really sort of amazed or astounded or astonished or something for the sake to be stabbed. He was going to be killed, but he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how. He was worried. Who killed him? Who is that person who has so much hatred and malice in his heart that he wants to kill him? He's worried about himself that he was so bad to such a person, that person made him to kill him. He was worried. So he's about to die, but he just wants to know who killed him. And when that guy was killed, after he had actually stabbed many people with Musallin, as he going out, they came back to him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, all the believers. It was a Sana', the person who used to work for some tribe there, or some companions, has to put the show horses and all of that. He said, Al-Ilj, the disbeliever, Alhamdulillah, that Allah made my assassination on the hands of a person who doesn't claim La ilaha illallah. He's happy. So the person who had killed him, he's not a Muslim. So he was not unjust to a Muslim. Then he said, Wallahi, I was generous to him. So Umar Khattab was generous to this disbeliever. But the heart of this disbeliever averse to Umar Khattab. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. كيف وإن يظهروا عليه لا يرقبوا فيكم إلا ولا ذمة يرضونكم بأفواههم وتأبى قلوبهم وأكثرهم فاسقون. Allah, he said, how can these people who are enemies of Islam, how can these people have a word or a covenant or a promise? The reason behind this, when they have the power over you, so when you have been overpowered by them, they will have no respect to any ties, to any covenant, to any kinship, even if you are a relative of his. That means they will have no mercy to you. When they have the power over you, they will demolish you. They will leave no children, no men, whatever he wants. Then he said, while they are not in war with you, they give you nice words. And their hearts are averse to you. They give you from the words, they are hating. They're waiting for the moment when they are on top of you. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He said about them and these hypocrites, وَمَا تُخْفِي صُدُورُهُمْ أَكْبَرْ شَدْ. And what their hearts conceals is more than what they show you. So if they had said something bad to you or they have fought you, their hearts conceal something even worse than that towards you. And that's Allah Azza wa Jal exposed them. If you look at Surah Al-Tawbah from the beginning to the end, all of it to expose the hypocrites. Ibadallah. Now, who is his fault? Because if you look at the general people, the Muslims, they don't really put their hands on the disease. And if I ask you, who is the most to be blamed amongst the Muslims all the time when we have a disaster? Who is that section of those people who always be blamed? Who are they? No, that's the scholars who say Jah, but who is the one who always be blamed? It's because of him. He had made a deal with such and such. Leaders, isn't it? What's going on? Leader done such and such, leader done such and such. Secondly, after that, governments come, he only gives fatwa with the government, doesn't give to people. Those two people. Let's just see the effect of those two people according to the hadith of the Prophet. Prophet of Allah according to the hadith, Abdullah ibn Umar is telling Abdullah ibn Umar, and he is addressing all the muhajirin. He said, Ya ma'shar al-muhajirin, O assembly of muhajirin. Muhajirin means Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman, the ones who were in Mecca, immigrated to Medina. O assembly of muhajirin. Khamsun, 5 things. إذا ابتليتم بهن, if you to be struck with them. وأعوذ بالله أن تدركوهن, and I seek refuge in Allah for you to stay alive to see them. What does that mean? That the companion will not see them. Because the Prophet of Allah, he sought refuge. وَأَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ, I seek refuge in Allah that you live to see them. Those 5 things, 5 tribulations, 5 turning points, 5 things. If you to live to see them, you are in disaster. We're going to see them ourselves. The companion, alhamdulillah, safe from them. He said 5 things. أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ أَن تُدْرِكُهُنْ. What are they? Number 1. Let's count. قال لم تظهر الفاحشة في قوم قط حتى يعلنوا بها إلا فشى فيهم الأوجاع والطاعون التي لم تكن في أسلافهم الذين قبلهم. Meaning that if those people start declaring the fahisha, everything which is bad to do with sexual. So when this thing becomes normal, people to boast about it. You know, before a long, long time ago, when a person who is a homosexual, he hides himself. He doesn't want to shave. True or not? I'm saying facts, ikhwan. True or not? Now, you ask a person, who's he with you? He's my husband. Normal. I was watching and there's 2 ladies, and this woman, she's saying, and my wife, normal, and the judge is listening. It became normal. Before, they were not there to say it. My wife. That means now that there is a contract to make between a woman and a woman, and a man. God knows it already. A man and an animal, woman and an animal. Allah, don't know what's going to happen. Because we have the alphabet, and we have as well, among this alphabet, as well, sex, gender. Gender. I don't know, what is the G? The G within this alphabetic sort of gangsters. What are they? A, B, C, well, G. So people talking about this as normal. People became the normal. Then Allah, he would strike them with what? Disease, which was not in the people before them, their ancestors. Before we had syphilis, I remember that when syphilis had no remedy for it, no ilaj, no cure. Later on, they cured it. Then the HIV. Oh, scary. HIV means death. Then, and by the way, HIV, why is it 80% into the homosexuals, or 20% is a heterosexual? Why? And then this is from the monkeys. Monkeys give you them? Okay. So this is, they said, the monkeys. Then HIV now is gone not as much as hard. Now we got the monkey itself is disease. Before you remember HIV from the monkeys, now the monkeys. God knows after that what disease you're going to get. That's a universal law. As long as you boast about what is in the eyes of the people was indecency, which indecency now you can't define it. Before indecency is known. What is indecency now? To put, for example, what? Your underwear on top of your skirt. What is indecency? I don't know. There's no such a thing, indecency, because its definition changes by the time. Second one. قال ولم ينقص المكيال والميزان حتى أخذوا بالسنين وشدة المؤونة وجور السلطان. And if these people, they start to be betrayals, cheaters, in the way that they give the measurement with they sell and buy, or the right weight with they sell and buy. So مقياس مكيال الميزان, people of Shu'aib what happened? وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ. Woe to the ones who does not give the right weight. Allah will strike them with 3 things. No rain. That is famine. Maybe there will be rain, but still the earth will not grow anything. Number 2, lack of sources of food. 3, and that is the tyranny and the oppression of a sultan. And all of these can be manifested. You can see them now. SubhanAllah. Sultan after a sultan, caliph after a caliph, president after a president, king after a king. All of them, they just want themselves. And they tighten the screw on the ones whom they are leading. Allah al-Musta'an. Thirdly, قال ولم يدفعوا زكاة أموالهم قط إلا منعوا القطر من السماء ولولا البهائم لم تمطر. And that is, if they don't give the zakah, how many Muslims among this ummah do not give their zakah? How many? Most of the ummah are poor. And the rich people, how much a percentage of them they give the zakah? قال, if the people وما لم يمنع قوم زكاة أموالهم إلا منعوا القطر من السماء. Allah will prevent the rain to come to them. And this rain, it will be flood, killing, but no good rain. ولولا البهائم, had it been for the animals, Allah will stop the rain. So Allah Azza wa Jal is giving this rain as a mercy for the animals, not for the human being, for us. The Muslims, the non-Muslim might have the rain. But this is to teach the Muslims, to tell them that what we're doing is wrong. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, وَيَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّاعِنُونَ, and the curses will curse them, the animals will curse the son of Adam, saying, we have been prevented the water, the rain, because of the sins, son of Adam. Then the fourth thing, قال ولم ينقضوا عهد الله وعهد رسوله. When you listen, this is the fourth, very important. ولم ينقضوا عهد الله وعهد رسوله. And if they don't break the covenant with Allah and His Messenger, then be disobedient to Allah's laws and His Messenger, إلا سلط الله عليهم عدوا من غيرهم فأخذ بعض ما فيه. Allah will impose them an enemy from outside, not a Muslim, an enemy from outside, to take some of their hands. So they will repossess what is in the possession of the Muslims. Land will be taken. Palestine doesn't exist on Google Map anymore. It doesn't. And subhanallah, it's in the Bible. In the Bible. Whether the Bible, we believe in all of it, we don't believe in all of it forward, but still there, history, Bible talks about Palestine. It's gone. And lots of things have gone. It's just not Palestine. Palestine is just at the moment, but there are lots of things gone. Some sources will be gone. Allah will impose upon us enemies from outsiders. Will take some of what we have in our hands. Fifth one. وما لم تحكم أئمته بكتاب الله وسنة رسول الله ويتخير من أفياء سنة رسول الله إلا جعل الله بأسهم بينهم. And had it that if their leaders, they don't implement the laws of Allah and rule by the laws of Allah and choose from the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah, Allah Azza wa Jal will make the conflict amongst the Muslims themselves. Yes, the conflict is taking place because of the imam. Now, out of these 5 things, how many is for the leaders? Just the last one. How many for us, the one who's been led for? Fornications being prevalent. We are preventing the zakah. We are not just in the weight. We have broken our covenant with Allah and His Messenger. All of it for us. And the 5th one is for the leaders. But we all the time blame what? The leaders. The leaders. Let's blame ourselves. Ikhwani, the leaders, they come from you. They don't come from outside. No way, if you are good, righteous people, all of you, then a non-righteous will lead you. No way. The non-righteous lead you because the majority are non-righteous. And because we deserve it. Because we did not do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had told us to do. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. Any crisis, calamities, problem befalls you, it is because of our hands had earned. وَيَعْفُ عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. And Allah forgives a lot. If He wants to take us for everything, we've been finished. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى رحمته ونسأله سبحانه أن لا يؤاخذنا بما فعل السفهاء منا يا رب. Don't take us on account, O Lord, for what the fools amongst us have done. There are some people worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal, but still they will be afflicted by the tribulation. Who said that? Allah Azza wa Jal. وَاتَّقُوا فِتْنَةً لَا تُصِيبَنَّ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنكُمْ خَاصَّةً. And be aware of a fitna. It will not just strike those people who are bad. No, it will get those people who are good amongst you. One day, Zainab radiallahu anha, bint Jahsh, the wife of the Prophet, she said, Prophet of Allah woke up terrified from the bed, saying, وَيْلُ لِلْعَرَبْ مِنْ شَرٍ قَدْ اقْتَرَبَ. Woe to the Arabs from an evil drawing close. وَيْلُ لِلْعَرَبْ مِنْ شَرٍ. Then he said, فُتِحَ الْيَوْمِ مِنْ رَدْمِ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ مِثْلُ هَذِهِ. Today, he's speaking, today, that is an opening, was made, a crack in the wall of Ya'juj of Ma'juj. Ma'juj and Ma'juj, the Ya'juj and Ma'juj are some of that, but too many, being blocked. They're being blocked, okay? And they can't come out. So Ya'juj and Ma'juj, he had made these two fingers like this. The ring finger, call it the ring finger? That's not the ring finger. Index, and the thumb. And he made them like this. So that small opening, that's an evil drawing close. Because when these people come out, they will kill everything. Nobody has the power. Nobody has the power to resist them. Even Isa alayhi salam can't. And he's the one who killed the what? The Dajjal. Yet he's not able to kill them. And he said, Allah to him, go and take yourself and the ones who follow you to Harris, to the Tur, to the mountain. Hide yourself there. There's not the power for you now to go and fight. No suicidal fight. Fight, hide until they finish. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He gives the permission for them to come, they come out. Because the crack will go bigger. So this crack stays the same from the beginning, that opening, that little one. And every time they want to finish their work, they will go, tomorrow we will open it. None of them says inshallah. So they only, by the way, they work only 12 hours. They don't break 24-hour shift. They have a break. So they sleep the following day. That crack stays the same. It doesn't go up, doesn't go extend, it doesn't let anyone to come out. Until when Allah gives the permission, one of them he would say, we will open it tomorrow, inshallah. So Allah leaves the hole as it is. It will not go tight. And they will continue digging, and when they come out, these people, they drink a lake. Imagine people drink lake. How many people, these people? The first one will pass on the lake. The last one would say, there was water here. It's finished. They finished the lake. They killed everybody on the earth, except for those who are hiding themselves. And then they will finish everybody on the earth. Let's kill the ones on the heaven. Start throwing their spears up, whatever they've got from the weapons. They bring back blood. Anything passing by, birds, animals, they will come blood. Allahu A'lam. So, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send them the smallest soldiers of his. It's called a naghaf. Something goes into the noses of the camels. Small little worms, little. I hardly could see it. And it will eat them all, finish them all, till they all of them die. Show the power of Allah. So, ya ikhwan, look at this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect us as long as we have the deen with us. But if we don't have the deen, then we lost it. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to the companions, Innakum fi zaman. You are in a time. Kathirun ulama'u. Qalilun khutqa'u. Too many scholars amongst you. But the ones who are orators don't want to speak, but they speak mostly without knowledge. There are very few. Man taraka ushra ma ya'rif halak. He who leaves 1/10 of what he knows is doomed, finished. He loses. But there will be a time coming. Out. قال كثير خطباء قليل علماء. The opposite. Too many speakers. MashaAllah, YouTubers, a lot. So many. Each one has got his own TV channel. قليل علماء. Few scholars. قال, listen. من تمسك بعشر ما يعرف فقد نجا. He who holds to 10th of what he knows from the deen, he's got salvation. So we have to hold what to 10th. What does that mean? That the Muslims are holding what to less than the 10th. And that's why we have the tribulation. Because if you held to the 10th of the deen, we have salvation. So that means why we're not really winning? Because we're not holding even to the 10th of the deen. At the time of the companions, look, Battle of Uhud, Muslims lost, but Islam won. Listen, Muslims lost battle, but Islam won. Prophet of Allah, in the Battle of Uhud, he places 50 archers on top of the mountain to protect the back of the army. And he said to them clear instructions: do not go down. If you are seeing us winning, don't come down. If you're seeing us being chased by the kuffar, the enemies, and about to be killed, don't come down to help us. Clear instructions. The battle started. And the winning side was the Muslims. And the kuffar started running away. Even Hind, the wife of Abu Sufyan, may Allah be pleased with her, before he embraced Islam, she was running on top of the mountains with her anklets and shaking. Well, the women, they had their bangles. Running. Kuffar flooding and leading with them gold, silver, all booty. Some of those on the mountain, they said, let's share our brothers. Abdullah ibn Jubayr, who was the leader of those 50, he said, did you remember what the Prophet ﷺ said? We can't go down until further instruction. He said, no, they managed to the battle's finished now. Let's just go and share our brothers and the booty. So 40 they go down. Khalid is on watch, radiallahu anhu, before he embraces Islam. As soon as he sees his opportunity, goes down the mountain of Uhud, kills what is remaining, only 10. Okay, so 40. You know how many is the army of the Muslims at that time? 900 to 1,000. Let's say it's 1,000. Maximum, 900. 1,000 to make it simple. 40 out of the 1,000, what is the percentage? 4%. 4% were defiant to the command of Allah. What happened? They lost. 4%. They were disobedient to the Prophet of Allah. Allah forgave them later on. Allah forgave them, the Sahaba. But 4%, you're telling me now only 4% from Muslims are disobedient? I'll tell you the opposite. Only 4%, maybe the other one who are obedient. True or not, Khwani? True or not? I'm asking, is it 4% only from the Muslims? Allahu musta'an. And he's still putting the blame on the scholars, the blame on those leaders. Finally, we discuss here, as we say from the doctors, they said, the person who diagnoses a disease has got half of this cure. Diagnose a disease, you know half of the cure. When you want to fix your car, where do you go? To the doctor? Or you push it into the surgery? Can you please check the heart problem? You go to the mechanic. When you have something wrong with your heart, where do you go? To the mechanic? To the plumber? The doctor. True or not? When you go something to your deen, affecting you, where do you go here? Quran and Sunnah, and those who interpret the Quran and the Sunnah. The scholars, the ones that are going to help. But do we go to the scholars? We go to anything but the scholars. We go to kids running the show. You have to go to scholars, old men. Remember the gray hair? The gray hair. But they're not going to these people. No, these people, they don't understand. Prophet ﷺ, according to the hadith again of Abdullah ibn Umar, he said, إذا تبايعتم بالعينة وأخذتم أذناب البقر ورضيتم بالزرع سلط الله عليكم ذلا لا ينزعه عنكم حتى ترجعوا. Listen, if you trade into Ina, you hold on to the tails of the camels, you accept and satisfy yourself with agriculture, and you abandon the jihad, Allah will impose upon you humiliation which will not be lifted until you go back to your religion. In this hadith, the Prophet of Allah, he mentioned 2 types of diseases. Let's discuss them. First disease, very dangerous disease, which is tabaya'tum bil 'ina means riba, but it's not clear-cut riba. If you come to a Muslim, you say to him, lend me 1,000. And he says to you, well, how long are you going to take until you pay it back? Okay, 1 year. Return it back, brother, 1,500. I don't think you say that because we'll be clear-cut riba, isn't it? How dare you ask me for more? This is riba. Huh? So everybody knows riba. بالأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. Shall we tell you of those losers in the dunya and the akhirah? The ones who are losers, the ones whom they think they are doing well, but they are not. They are defying Allah and His Messenger. Ina is as follows. This person who wants 1,000, okay, akhi. If you 1,500, it's riba clear cut. We will say make something else. Same thing. All right. Do you have anything to? Yes. Okay. I want to buy you a mobile. How much is the mobile, brother? It's mobile. It's brand new and it's in a box. MashaAllah, brand new, brother. How much is it? Okay, it's £1,000 cash. He knows anything about cash, and 1,500 in 1 year. Okay, brother, I want it. When is the first installment? After a month. Okay. Give me some checks now, standing order and everything set up. So now the mobile is still there. Okay, brother, you wanna buy this mobile from me? The buyer became a seller now, sending it back to the person who's selling him the mobile. How much you want from me? Whatever you like. Okay, I'll give you 800. Because he could buy this mobile with more than that. 800 is less than even the factory. Okay, 800. All right. So he gives him 800. Paid 1,500. I think the first time would be easy for you, better for you. Because he would bought 1,000, you 1,500. Now he's bought it 800 to give it back what? 1,520. Imagine that some scholars, unfortunately, they make this halal. This is halal. How can it be? I want to purchase a laptop in its box. And then he says to me, 1,000 cash and 1,500 after a year or so, 2 years. Then before I take even the laptop, I said, brother, do you want to buy it from me? This is now the seller. It's becoming a buyer and the buyer becoming a seller. Do you understand? And then he will, because he wants the money. So he gives them money and then he had written upon him with extra. This is my ear, we say, and this way is my ear. Wherever you go, it's my ear. So this is riba and this is riba. It's called the Prophet said, لا ترتكبوا مرتكب. Do not do what the Jews were doing. تستحلوا محارم الله بأدنى الحيل. That you will make those haram things that Allah made haram to be halal in the cheapest of ways. Manipulation. So the Jews, they've done, and we're doing the same as the Jews. We have now Islamic mortgage. I don't know how these two words they can combine together. I cannot. Islam and mortgage. Mortgage riba. How can it be Islamic mortgage? You can say Islamic transaction, but mortgage? Huh? Islamic swimming short costumes. How can it be? How do they fit each other? Short costumes for the women. Burkini. Burkini from burqa and bikini. Allah. Islamic. It's the hook. Islam is like a nail. Hook onto it. Hook onto it. Islamic bank. Islamic bank, but it's all of it made about what? Or riba. If you say it's Islam, Masrif, look at the word bank. The bank is known that the bank is riba. So they make it Islamic with this. Islamic this. Allahu Musta'an. So we have Islamic dance. Allah Islamic dance. How this is manipulation. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, لا يستحلن طائفة من الحرى والحرير والخمر والمعازف. Part of my ummah, they will make the following haram. Zina. Zina is made halal. Or it's not made halal clearly, but slowly. Disaster mixing is no problem. No problem. قال والحرير. Silk for the men, it's only for the women. And والخمر, intoxicant drink, made to be halal. والمعازف, music. You go to any shop now, music there. Muslim talk about. Muslim. Huh? You talk to, go to Islamic bank. Islamic bank. Everything with music. Allahul Musta'an. And the music is the fruit of the shaitan. There is no separation between these three things. Music, rock and roll, yeah? Drugs, and what is that? That one? Music and rock and roll and drugs. The three things are always attached to each other. They bring one another. Fornication. It has to be. Person listens to music, slowly he will be with the women. Slowly he will be on the drugs or with alcohol. Slowly music. it will corrupt your heart. So the Jews, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished them through the history. There were some people from Bani Israel, they were believers, like Abdullah ibn Salam. He embraced Islam, like Ka'b ibn Malik. He embraced Islam. And at the time of Musa alayhi salam, there were some people, very few, that followed the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. But most of them, they used to manipulate the rules of Allah. Allah Azza wa Jal had, let's talk about two stories. One, when Allah punished them by making the fat be haram upon them. وعلى الذين هادوا حرمنا كل ذي ظفر وعلى الذين هادوا حرمنا كل ذي ظفر ومن البقر والغنم حرمنا عليهم شحومهم ومن البقر والغنم حرمنا عليهم شحومهم إلا ما حملت ظهورهما أو الحوايا أو ما اختلط بعظم ذلك جزيناهم ببغيهم وإنا لظالمون. Upon the Jews, we made the following haram: undivided hoof, which is the camels, and similar animals, haram, and the sheep and the cows. The fat of theirs is to be haram. So you could eat the meat, but not the fat, except if the fat is mixed with the meat, or the fat is on top of the intestines, or it's on the back. But if it's like the fat, which is the tail of the sheep, which is called, we call it liya, very nice. This one, it's good for sciatica. It's haram. So imagine now how many sheep have been slaughtered, but the Jews cannot touch the fat. So they had so much fat now. They can't eat it. What can we do with it? Let's turn it to something else. They collected the fat, put it into big containers, put the fire underneath, turn it into oil, take the oil to the market, sell it, consume the price. Prophet ﷺ, he said, Allah had put the curse upon those Jews. لما حرم عليهم الشحم, when Allah forbade upon them the fat, جملوه, they melted it down. ثم باعوه, ثم أخذوه الأسواق, then they took it to the market, then they sold it. ثم أكلوا بثمنه, then they consumed the price of it. وإن الله إذا حرم أكل شيء حرم ثمنه. And if Allah makes haram, something haram to be eaten, He will make it haram as well to be sold or to be bought. So you're not allowed to buy, by the way, for your cat, haram food. You know that? Yeah. You're not allowed. Because if you're haram to eat it, haram to sell it and buy it. I'm not saying that your cat has to have halal. He eats mice as well. So if you've been given, 5, 6 mice for free, take them, give it to your cats if you wish. If you've been given something which is haram food for free, no problem. But to buy something haram, you can't do that. So keep away from the chicken taste. Get the one which is beef, or get the one which is fish. But chicken, obviously, because it's gas in this country. Most of it's gas. Because of this, don't buy chicken treats, or chicken, whatever, duck, and all of that for your cats. So the Prophet said, if Allah made something haram to eat, haram to sell and buy. So what the Jews consume the price. Now the Muslims are doing the same. So the curse is also for us. And then Allah Azza wa Jal tested the Jews by giving them another punishment. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He had made it prohibited upon them to fish on a Saturday. واسألهم عن القرية التي كانت حاضرة البحر العراق. Ask them about the Jews. Ask the Jews about this village which was next to the sea, which is Eilat, that city. إذ يعدون في السبت, when they used to transgress, disobey Allah on the Sabbath. How? إذ تأتيهم حيتانهم يوم سبتهم شرعا. On a Sabt, their fish will come in large numbers. ويوم لا يسبتون لا تأتيهم. And when it's not Sabt, it doesn't come to them. You see, animals, Allah made a clock inside them. They know. See, when the animal, you give him good things, he starts coming to you, isn't it? He learns. And if you start to punish him or harm him, he will not approach you because he knows you. Same thing here. These fish, by their nature, from the 7 days of the week, they find that this particular day, they don't know it's Saturday or not, 24 hours, nobody lays a finger upon them, which is a Sabbath. So nobody's coming to hunt them. So what do? Fish them. So they come on a Sabbath to their beaches, closed. And on the rest of the week, they disappear. So when Laylatul Sabt, the Saturday night, which is the Friday night, they call it here. Saturday night, the night preceding Saturday. So it comes, those fish, they come. And Allah says, تَأْتِيهِ شُرَّعَ. Shurra means with their tails showing on the top. Come on, you can't get us. Come on. They're showing themselves because they know that nobody's touching them. تَأْتِيهِمْ شُرَّعَ. But when it is not set, as soon as the sunset of the Saturday comes, they go inside the sea. They couldn't take it. These fish, they can't understand, they say. We can't get them, but they can't be cleverer than us. They put the nets on Jumaadaa. Friday, the nets. And when the fish came Saturday night, they don't touch them because haram. When the sunset is about to take place, they want to go back. The fish has been trapped now. They can't be cleverer than those. So they can't go back. They don't touch them until Sunday. Lahad. They come and fish them and kill them, whales and all of those. One up there. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had tested them, and they have manipulated the rules of Allah. And the Muslim is doing the same thing. What do we call the alcoholic drink at the moment in our countries? Mashrubat ruhiyya. Any Arabs here to support this word? Mashrubat. What do you call them? Sah? Mashrubat ruhiyya. You know what it is? Spirits. It's the translation of the word spirit. That means it nourishes your spirit, it lifts you up. It makes you an animal. Never mind if it lifts you up. As soon as you drink, you don't know what you are. And the Prophet he said, Al-Khamru Ummul. The wine is the mother of all filth. The mother. And the wine, why is it haram? Why is it haram? Because of the what? The alcohol. So the alcohol is the what? The grandmother of the filth. Do you understand me? The wine is the mother of the filth. So the intoxicant is the grandmother. Because that's haram because of that. Ya ikhwan, manipulation. And I could tell you now how much manipulation the Muslims have done. In the name of Islam, we have something called nikah al-shira. We have something we call nikah al-tahleel. I'll give you two examples. Nikah al-tahleel, nikah al-shira. What is this? I'll give you this nikah al-tahleel. This is manipulation. When this person divorces his wife 3 times, not 3 times like this, one, divorce, that's counted one. So the person said, out of rage, you are divorced to the power 1000. Imagine it's about mathematics, to the power 1000. It's counted one. 3-1. After a while, he got her back. Within her iddah, after her iddah, doesn't matter. But after her iddah, he had to make a new marriage. But this counted on him first divorce. So if he divorces the 2nd time, he's second. He's got a 3rd chance, 2nd time. This is the last chance. That's it. If he divorces her the 3rd time, he cannot go back to her until she marries somebody else, a full marriage. Not for the sake of getting back to him. Marriage for the sake of the marriage. If that husband, the new one, dies, or if he divorces her, then she could go back to her old ex-husband if she wishes. But now, these people, they want to manipulate the rules of Allah. So he divorces her the 3rd time. He wants to go back to her. She wants to go back to him as well. He is the father of her kids. What can they do? They can't, unless she marries somebody else. So they make a deal, usually with an old man who can't even move. Nothing moves in him. Just go with her, for an hour, 2 hours, people will say, that's it. She goes back to her old house. It's called muhallil. لعن الله المحلل والمحلل له. Do you know what the Prophet of Allah had cursed him and what he had described him with? He described him with a tays al-musta'ar. The borrowed billy goat. I don't even know the billy goat. Billy goat is the male goat. The one who's got like a small hair coming. Billy goat. Yeah. You know the billy goat, yes? That's taste. In Arabic, when you say taste, that means stupid you are. You are taste, it's like you got a dog. Taste, I'm not that taste. So Allah's messenger described him by taste, borrowed billy goat. What happened to borrowed billy goat? Prophet Allah doesn't speak from like this. He speaks from divine. When the farmer, he's got she goats. He wants a male goat, which is a billy goat, in order to mate, in order to produce new babies. So he borrows from his neighbor that billy goat for a week, 2 weeks. After he mates and he finishes mating, he returns him back, and that's it. So this person, they borrow him for some time in order to mate with this woman until he finishes, it's halal, and then send him back. That's it. This is the borrowed billy goat. Borrowed billy goat. Allahu musta'an. That's manipulation of the rules of Allah. And as I said, I could tell you more and more. Aina is one of them. We do it in our countries. And we do it and we say it's halal. Second disease, dunya ya ikhwani. Al-wahd. Hubb al-dunya, karahiyat al-maut. He said, if you hold on to the tail of the cows and you satisfy yourself with agriculture, no problem to plant. Farmers are cooking, no problem. The Prophet of Allah said, if the hour is about to take place and you've got a stem, shatla, in your hand, then if you're able to plant it before the day of resurrection takes place, then go ahead. And you know that nobody's going to benefit from that because you're going to doom just like you're going to be doomed, but yet plant it. But the Prophet of Allah, he said that if you be preoccupied by this, this is going to be humiliation. When he saw the tool that plows the land, sikka, if this thing enters the house of a believer, it will bring with it humiliation. Why? Because you'll be preoccupied by the dunya. But no problem to farm your land, but as long as it's not going to be on the expense of your people now talking to the dunya. حب الدنيا وكراهية الموت. This is hadith whom? Hadith Loughborough رضي الله عنه. يوشك أن تداعى عليكم الأمم كما تداعى الأكلة إلى قصعته. The nations are about to draw closer, to draw onto you, to get together, to demolish you and kill you. Calling one another, let's go and get them. These are formidable now. Get them. Just like the starving people, they come to a platter of food. When they come to the platter of food, each one goes, come on, I want the chicken leg, I want the kebab, I want. And these people, oh, this is mine. The petrol is mine, and banana is yours. That's what happened. Each one wants his own share. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He had described the ummah as source of good, source of food. These people want to take that food. One said, Messenger of Allah, he said, because we are few in number. This is the logical speaker that they are bearing themselves onto us because we are few and they are too many. No, you are too many. 2.5 billion or 3 billion. And Allah A'lam knows. Too many Muslims. I'm sure it's more than 2 billion. But we are like what? The foam of the sea. What a description from the Prophet. Foam looks big. Seen it? Huge. You go to some of the countries like clouds, this foam. And it's dirty. Cause everything dirty, even smelly. Smelly. Have you seen it? Yes, the foam. Smelly, dirty, looks big, but it's not big. You blow into it, it's gone. No power. And it does not, this foam does not decide its fate. It's always with the water. The water carries it. If the water stops, it stops. And the same with the Muslim Ummah. Move, stop. That's what we are. Huh? We are like ignition. Stop, move, stop. We have no control of ourselves. Then he said, وَلَيَنْزِعَنَّ اللَّهُ مِنْ صُدُورِ عَدُوِّكُمُ الْمَهَابَةَ مِنْكُمْ. And your enemies will have no fear of you. Prophet of Allah said, نُصِرْتُ بِالرُّعْبِ مَسِيرَةَ شَهْرٍ. When the Prophet of Allah, he was there at that time, and his companions that have been given victory, with the fear being placed in the hearts of the enemies, a distance of a month. So before the army moves, it's a month distance, the army what? Surrender. To be defeated. نُصِرْتُ بِالرُّعْبِ مَسِيرَةَ شَهْرٍ. Now, if the army of the Muslims are going to move even a year before, they start laughing in their head. But they haven't got any power. No power. وَلَيَنْزِعَنَّ اللَّهُ مِنْ صُدُورِ عَدُوِّكُمُ الْمَهَابَةَ مِنْكُمْ وَلَيَقْذِفَنَّ اللَّهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمُ الْوَهْنَ. And Allah will throw into your hearts wahn. Wahn means weakness, but they don't understand what type of weakness they can find. ما الوهن? What is weakness? الحب الدنيا وكراهية. Loving the dunya and hatred. يا أيها الذين آمنوا ما لكم إذا قيل لكم انفروا في سبيل الله اثاقلتم إلى الأرض أرضيتم بالحياة الدنيا من الآخرة فما متاع الحياة الدنيا من الآخرة إلا قليل. Oh, you who believe, why is it being said to you, go on, come to make jihad for the sake of Allah, you will cling heavily to earth. Cling heavily to earth, why? Because the dunya, can't leave the dunya. Can't leave it. Allahul Musta'an. So, the two diseases, we have to cure them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us the victory. There's nothing we can do these days for our brothers in Gaza, or in our brothers wherever they are. There are brothers as well under persecution in China, you know that. There's brainwashing there. It's not being said, but there's something called a different genocide. Making these people to dance, they can't even fast, they can't, they can't do anything. Demolishing their ideology, subhanAllah. He's doing this. So Allah Azza wa Jal put us under this to be tested. So let's, ya ikhwani, help our brothers by coming to the masajid. Help our brothers coming to the talks like this. Help our brothers to understand our religion. Allahumma faqqih hadhihi al-umma fi dinina. Man yuridillahu bihi khayra yufaqihu. If Allah wants good to you, He'll give you understanding of the religion. Wallahi, this is the khayr. Wallahi, this is what you are. You are the ones who are going to save Palestine and save China and save Burma and save whatever. You are the ones. How many people went to the protest? I don't know. I didn't see it. 500,000? I don't know. Maybe 1 million. I don't know. They play it down all the time. It doesn't matter. Give me 1 million in Fajr prayer and I'll give you, inshallah, Palestine back. True or not? Give me 1 million. Where are we? Did they come to the masjid? Did they pray the Fajr, Akhwani? We were 2 billions. You know, 2 billions, we don't need to use any weapons. Just a spit. We'll drown our enemies. 2 billion sticks. They will drown the enemies. 2 billion spits. Almost that. 2 billion. Still no problem. But don't worry. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, even though Allah Azza wa Jalla did not fulfill the dua of the Prophet ﷺ, that is not to make our conflict amongst ourselves, still we are protected from being what? Washed away, perish and being killed. وَحَتَّى وَلَوْ اجْتَمَعَ مَنْ بِأَقْطَارِهَا. Even if all these enemies get together to wipe you out, they can't. No way. That's a guarantee. And no way that Allah will punish us through famine or through drown like He done with the nations before us. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Islam is going to supersede. That's 100%. So this is the disease. What is the cure? Until you go back to your deen. But what type of deen, ya ikhwan? The deen now, you go to Fatawa market. You know the Fatawa market? Go to the Fatawa market. Want halal, it gives you halal. Want haram, it gives you haram. Same thing, same thing. Halal, haram. Fatawa market. What flavor do you want? Use flavor. Sour flavor, sweet flavor. Which flavor? Takfiri flavor, Salafi flavor. Which one do you want? Before we had Jahmiyyah, we had Mu'tazila, we had the people who are so-called Takfir, Khawarij, and we had Rafida, we had Ash'ariyah, we had Maturidiyah, and we had Dawbandiyah, and Brelwiyah, and now even the ones who call themselves Ahlul Sunnah, they have Malikiyah, and they have Shafi'iyah, and Hanbaliyah, and before that Hanafiyah. You say to me, no, these are full school thoughts, no problem, they are just fiqh issue. Wallah, it's not fiqh issue. It's more than that. Maybe, alhamdulillah, it's been watered down, but it's coming back again to be severe among those. When the Hanafiyas at that time, they want to marry their daughters, they will never give her the one who is a follower of the Shafi'i. They treat the Shafi'i something else. And even there is one called Mufti Thaqalain, Mufti at that time, who gives fatwa, not just to a human being, even to the jinn. He said, no, I give you inshallah solution for the Hanafi girl. So the Hanafi Shafi'i, sorry, the Shafi'i girl. They can't marry the Hanafi woman, but we could marry the Shafi'i girl. We will make her like the people of the book, Christian and Jews. Yes. So the Hanafi, they treat the Shafi'i, Christian and Jews. Because they say that these people kuffar, they say, Ana mu'min inshallah. I'm a believer inshallah. Then he's a kafir. He is actually doubting his iman. And do you know as well in the Hanafi madhab, if you didn't know that, well, know this for a fact, that drinking wine from other than the grapes, as long as it does not get you drunk, it is halal. So the beer, which is the normal beer, this is the one from the Hobson and from the barley, or from, as long as you don't get drunk, it's halal. So 1 cup, 2 cups, as long as you don't get drunk. So the one gets you drunk, that's the haram. Before that, enjoy. And that's according to the Hanafi madhab, and still in the books until today, which is wrong. So that's why I'm just saying, what flavor the deen that you want to go back to? What flavor? We have lots of deens. If you want to have a Muslim country, which deen is going to be followed? Which aqidah? There's no aqidah or deen that the one that should hold on to it, except the deen that Allah was pleased for the Prophet of Allah to be having it and his companions. Deen of Sahaba, the companions. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Alaykum bi sunnati wa sunnati al-khulafa ar-rashidin al-mahdina min ba'd." Hold on to my sunnah and the sunnah of the 4 caliphate, or the rightly guided caliphate. Abdu alayha, bite on it. He didn't say bite on both of them. Abdu alayhima. No, alayha. That means the sunnah of the Prophet and the sunnah of the guided, rightly guided caliphate, they are like one sausage. One. Bite on it with your molars. Hold on to it. And do not follow the heresies, the innovations, for every innovation and heresies and innovation in deen, and every innovation is a misguidance, and every misguidance will lead to the hellfire. By this, alhamdulillah, I have concluded what I wanted to talk about, and I will give you, inshallah, some time for questions and answers. And if we just see the time now is 8:15. So jazakumullahu khairan. If you have any question regarding what we have heard, let's give it precedence. And if you don't have anything regarding what has been talked about, no problem, inshallah, to take something else. And by the way, the question on Zoom, I don't know how to take it because I forgot my laptop, and don't know what to do, yeah, Ahmed. So let me just.
I can unmute them, Sheikh, when you're ready.
Okay, any person wants to ask a question, Ikhwan? Like, take from the online.
Faisal?
Yes. If a person divorces a woman 3 times and she sincerely remarries another person, but before they consummate that marriage, that second man dies, can she go back to the first husband?
No, she cannot. It's a very, very good question. No, she cannot. حتى تذوق عسيلته ويذوق عسيلته. Until he tastes her honey and she tastes his honey. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ, he said to this woman who was divorced by Rifa'ah Al-Quradi, radiyallahu anhu, and she went with Abdul Rahman ibn Zubayr Al-Quradi, and he was an old man. And she said there's nothing moving from him. She was complaining. So the Prophet of Allah said, if you want to go back to Rifa'ah who divorced you 3 times, no way, no chance, until he tastes his honey. You taste his honey and he tastes your honey. That means what? Intercourse. Cover.
Shammam?
The second question. Shammam? يلا
السلام
شمام.
عليكم شيخنا حياك الله.
لطيف يعني. تفضل.
Assalamu alaikum. During times of fitna, would you say that the best things we can do is stay away from sayyat and simply make dua as much as we can? Barakallahu feek.
That is the thing that the person can do the best. You see, Ikhwani, one person can affect the fate of the whole ummah. لا تزال أمتي بخير ما عجلوا فطرها. My ummah is upon good as long as they hasten the breaking of the fast. So if the person does not hasten the breaking of the fast, he is actually attributing and contributing to the failure of this ummah. That this ummah is going to be khair. So if you want to keep this ummah khair, break your fast on time when the sun sets, when the adhan is called straight away. Don't wait. So the same thing here, we say to the people, that person who is, doing sins, is not just doing sins for himself, he's affecting the whole ummah. It's like a cancer, and this cancer is spreading. So let's make this ummah and these people to make sure that they are enjoying good and forbidding evil. So they saw, like we are in a ship. We are in a ship, as the Prophet said. So if you saw some people making a hole at the bottom of the ship, what are you going to do? You're going to what? Slap them on their hands. Because if you don't still do so, the ship is going to be what? Sinking. Same thing here. These people that have to be given the wake-up call, come to do the deen, make dua. Person who is مطروق بالأبواب. People will not even accept it to get married to their daughters. And he is with uncombed hair, dusted. But if he makes an oath upon Allah, Allah will give him. Allah granted because of his heart, because of his iman, ya akhwan. Just one person. One dua. One dua. So unfortunately, just like we have people doing the wrong thing by calling for protest, protests can do what? Most people went to the protest well. I'm sure they were next to women, rubbing shoulder with shoulder, feet to feet. And these women are not really dressed up properly. What are they doing? Chanting, oh, down, down. What are they doing? No, nothing. It's called a peaceful protest. Nothing. 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 You can achieve nothing. السعيد من وعظ بغيره. The person who is happy, the one who learned the lesson. You cannot get a bigger protest than the protest in this country against the Iraqi war. Remember that? More than 3 million. Nothing happened. The war took place. Nothing happened. So the protest will not do. You do what you like, but we want. You do, and you say what you like, but we will do what we want. That's the whole equation. This is called democracy. Very chanting, nothing. Do nothing. We had a protest against the homeschool fees or the university fees. Remember that? University fees, because they had to impose university fees. Protests, big ones. People even went peaceful protests. They broke into shops and broke into. And even one brother is asking, Wallah is asking, Sheikh, I've got a laptop. How? Said in the protest, we just entered the thing and I've got one. Sony, from the Sony company. Halal? No, it's not halal. You think it's not war booty? War booty? He went to war. Well, ya akhwani, war booty. This is what it is. This is what it was. Fun. Fun. This protest is fun. One brother, which he had fixed my father's car. I was with him and spent weeks and days with him because it took a long time to fix my father's car. A month. The whole month of Ramadan. I spent it with him. And he's talking to me. He said, I witnessed the protest against Belfort Promise. You know, the Ba'ad Belfort, 1917, which he had promised the Jews a land in Palestine. To put people in the land of somebody else. So there was a protest in our country, Jordan. He said, we saw people just going out. Never seen this protest. Coming people out. And the one who's in the front, he's the one who's leader, and he's chanting, he's making like a rhyme. You know, always they put the protest in words which sound like a rhyme. I've heard some people say, what do you want? Recognition. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Recognition. What do you want it? Now. And they keep repeating this. Slowly, like words with rhyming. So this person in Arabic, he says, فَلْيَسْقُطْ وَاعِدْ بَلْفُورٍ فَلْيَسْقُطْ وَاعِدْ بَلْفُورٍ. Let Belfort Promise go down, down, down. Belfort. He said, he himself said, I joined him, but I didn't know what is happening in the front. So I didn't hear the words properly. So I said, فَلْيَسْقُطْ وَاحِدْ مِنْ فَوْقٍ فَلْيَسْقُطْ وَاحِدْ مِنْ. Wallahi, he said it to me. He's not the one making joke. He's himself. I mean, let a person on the top fall down. That's how he heard it. Let the person on the top fall down. You didn't hear that Belfort. Wa'ad Belfort means wahad min fawq, one on the top. Now, he doesn't understand Belfort. Go down. Let him go down. Because he likes it. It's chanting and going. And that's why the scholar, they said, if you saw 1,000 people behind a cow screaming, the cows are gone. This person will come out and start screaming with them. Because his heart would say, hang on a second, those 1,000 can't be wrong. It must be holy cow. It must be holy cow. So you go with them and chant. قال لو خرج 1000 خلف بقرة هراس قال لانضم معها. That's it. Because he think they're right. 1,000 people can't be wrong, Yahi. He would say to you, how could it be 1,000 wrong? So those protests were 300,000, that wrong. That's wrong. Let's be right. What have you done? Nothing. You wasted your day. Nothing. صح? No. And the same thing, there are people doing another protest in the masajid. How? They're calling themselves for Ghazza Qiyam. Allahul Musta'an. Ghazza Qiyam. So they make it now not Tarawih. Ramadan, no Ghazza Qiyam. Let's make it 1 and 2 rak'ah together for the sake of Ghazza. When was that happen at the time of the Prophet ﷺ? What did you do, Ghazza? Mu'ta Qiyam. Mu'ta, because the Prophet he left them in the Mu'ta and the companions were killed. Zayd ibn Muhammad was killed. The Prophet was given was killed. Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, he held one man and one arm. He was chopped off and chopped the second one. And Allah put him, like made him as a pilot in heaven. And then the third one, Abdullah ibn Rawaha, never made Qiyam together. And the people are doing it in the masajid, calling people tonight, such and such. So the time they made that protest, wallah, on Saturday, there's some masajid which I know, in Luton, they made Qiyam. So we have a protest there and a protest in the masjid. Where is the ignorance? Where is the knowledge, Ikhwan? Ignorance is prevailing. Ignorance. And people, the emotions. I know that their emotions are, Allah, truthful. They are suffering from what happened to our brothers there. But if you're suffering, do the right thing. On that Saturday, when the people came from the protest in London, I live not far away from London. I live in not far away, on the outskirts, next to the Heathrow Airport. I went with my wife and my family. My wife is downstairs. With my wife and my family to a place to eat. And then we wanted to meet some brothers. So they met me in a place for selling burger in Slough. So those people came from London. They blocked London, by the way. We couldn't go to London. It was blocked. So these people came, and when we saw some of them that come into this burger shop, and women, men with Palestine here, and with a mega sort of, it's called megaphone. You know, there was called megaphone, the one like loudspeaker, megaphone, and they are all of them. Some of them with beard. I went outside because there's no tables. So I went outside and I saw this brother. He's got a beard. Where have you been, brother? Protest. Protest. You need a protest against yourself, brother. Allah Allah. Protest. They finished their burger inside, these people, about 6 or 7, can remember, and this person with a mega phone is outside, and it was about 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is late in Slough, and this shop is amongst houses. Started making fun now, and these people are chatting behind. That's the called peaceful protest. It's a joke. Astaghfirullah. What are you doing? Those are nuisance. You are looking Muslims. You calling yourself Muslims, and you're making they look at you like this. Allahul Musta'an. How can we raise awareness by this? You're raising awareness. Allahul Musta'an. The one who hates you will hate you, and the one who likes you, he will like you. The one who is in between, he doesn't know. Make sure that he is on your side. Today, I had the first hate statement being said to me since the Gaza war had started. I don't call it war, by the way. The Gaza genocide. There's no such thing. War is between two armies. There's no armies here in the second part. There's no armies. I was walking not with my scarf, just with my cloak. And with my wife. Yeah, she's got the niqab. These two men, oldish. I mean, maybe like my age or older. And one of them, she said, Taliban. So I got close to him. What do you say? He said, Taliban. I said, I'm going to report you to the police for the hate crime. He said, what do you think of Hamas? I said, then what do you think of Israel? Straight away. Hamas, when they kill the children. What do you think about the Israel? Well, they're killing and still killing. What do you think about them? He said, I agree. Oh, I said, you are a Zionist. That's what you are. Some of those Jews, they don't accept this. And they were in the protest, by the way. The next said, it's not in our name. Well, it's not right to say all the Jews are bad. You can't say that. All the Christians are bad. All the things are bad. This word all is not correct. It's not right. So if you want the cases to be yours and people to sympathize, you cannot just generalize statements like that. So they're not blaming them when they say all Muslims are terrorists. Just what we say that, we're not, these people are 2, 4, 5, 6% view they have done terrorism. Doesn't mean that Muslims are terrorists. Okay? So you have to be careful when you use your words. Careful when you use your words. Those people, definitely those people are racist. And wallahi, if I had time, I would have reported it to the police for hate crime. I would take a picture of it and take it. But doesn't matter, I would report it. Just like those people who are from these people report us to the police. Don't they? Any word, they report it. Some of the imams now in the masajid, they mean, oh, come, we want to have a statement from you. Because some of them, they're already as well transgressed. True, they transgressed the way that they said it. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يثبت أقدامنا وأن يثبت إخواننا وأن يجعلنا ممن يستمع القول فيتبع أحسنه. Right, you have another question? I want some question from the floor, not from the online. انجليزي نجلس
شيخ, we mentioned the hadith of الصحابة say هباء لكن هباء غثاء جواب
في هباء وفي غثاء بس في هباء كمان طلع آية قرآنية هباء.
So the form of the sea, the other, like when you look at it, is divided. It's not really strong, and that's our reality of the Muslims today.
It's unity. Right.
And the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا
وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا.
So the question is now we know the problem now because of our division. We are struggling and we are suffering, and Muslims they don't have the power. So now that means we need to be united. So if we want to be united, now we have different aqidah, how can we be united? And what's the limit?
Well done. The way to unite is actually to go back to the real religion. So this religion now, like you said, crept into it many things which is not from the religion. So we need to filterize. We call it tasfiyah in Arabic. After filterization, we want to bring up the new generation onto this. It's going to take a long time, but at least we're doing the right thing. Prophet of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did he do when he was in Mecca? Ikhwani, you look at the seerah and you study it, you will know that there are some times where the addressing of the Prophet and the companions were different from other times. So when they were in Mecca, there was no permission from the Almighty to go and fight. There was no permission for the companions to go and make an uprising. Nothing. And that is why Khabbab ibn Arat, radiyallahu anhu, came to the Prophet ﷺ while he was in the shade of the Kaaba. At the time of when Quraysh was in control. The power is for the idolaters. Ya Rasulullah, can't you simply give us help? You can see what happened to Bilal, Ammar, his father, his mother. Just because dua for us. So the Prophet of Allah is leaning, he sat down. Then he said, ألا إنه كان من قبلكم. People before tested in their religion. قال يؤتى به فيحفر له. Brought and a ditch hole will be dug for him. فيوضع فيها. He will be put into it. قال فيؤتى بالمنشار. قال فيقسم نصفين. He will be cut into halves. وبأمشاط الحديد حتى يمشط لحمه عن عظمه. That is, his flesh will be taken away from his bone while he's alive. لا يصده ذلك عنه. Still he's holding to his religion. Can't you remember the story of Al-Ukhdud? When that king, he had dug trenches and put fire. Each person who does believe in Allah, you burn him. And you remember, as a woman, she was hesitant, she had a child with her. The child, he said, Ummah, isbiri. Oh mother, be patient. She threw herself with her child in the fire. So they were tested, all the companions, those people. قال ولكن قالوا والله. The Prophet said, by Allah, لا يتمنى الله هذا الدين. Allah would put this. حتى يمشي الراكب. من صنعاء إلى حضرموت. And he goes between these two places, well known for bandits. No way you pass except they would be robbed or killed. حتى يمشي الراكب من صنعاء إلى حضرموت لا يخاف الله إلا الله والذئب على غنمه. He fears no one except for Allah because he's mu'min, and the wolf against his sheep. You know why? Because the wolf does not differentiate between a country which is mu'min or a country which is kafir. There's not different. There's a sheep. We will don't kill the sheep, except for the Allah and the wolf. This is the word. But you are hastening the matter. Take your time. So the Prophet of Allah in the Mecca phase, the ayat was there. Isbiru, isbiru, isbiru. 3 years under siege. Can't eat, ya Ikhwani, boycotting. Muqata' 3 سنوات, 3 years. No prophet did not go and send assassins to assassinate the ones who had made this muqata' boycotting. Still 3 years. He was patient until he has the power. When he has the power, go ahead. Take their caravan. Al-Ir. If there's no Ir, fight. That's it. So if you are in a position of power, no treaties. Sorry, no deals. And if you are in a time of weakness, no attacks. Be patient. And the people, if they listen to this, they will save themselves. Sometimes my words may be misunderstood, but I wanted to understand that I am not really with such and such president or such and such leader. Look at what Mahmoud Abbas is. Is there any killing compared to the one who has that? No comparison. This person, you could call him a traitor, he's Jewish, he's Zionist, what do you call him? Call him that. But the Muslims are what? Safe. I have seen a brother who's got mashallah beard, and he's Salafi, you know. He sent me, wallah, I'm going to show it to you here. He sent me 19th of October. I've got it here. 19th of October, about 2 days after the war, this massacre taking place. He is got a hotel. I said to him, you know, I know that you're living in Quds. How far is Dawood, King David Hotel? You know where Sonak, he stayed. You know that this King Dawood has got a history. There was a terrorism in it. Some British people were killed. Even Jews were killed in there. And the ones behind it are from the Jews, the Zionists. They were massacred. And he forgot his history. He went there. King David. So I said, can you show it to me? And he showed me from his, he said, this is Quds. He could show me the Quds. I could see from his hotel. And this is King David. That's what it is. Can you see? Yes, and zoomed in. And this is East, we're called so-called now East Jerusalem. And this is West Jerusalem because they're dividing. Quds, and these people are living still. And they are having food and they are making people come to their hotels and everything. And he is doing his deen and he's got PhD in religion. He made PhD, mashallah. Because he's not in the time of power to go and throw some firecrackers, Ikhwan. Firecrackers cannot meet these planes. There's not a single anti-craft being shot from there. There's no anti, you know that. There's no missiles, air missiles. No way. So these planes, boom, 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 boom. How many thousand? They say 15. I said more than 20, more than 30. Allahu A'lam. So many times. I don't look at these because it makes me, because I live in Palestine. I'm a Palestinian. I live in, my family comes from Beersheba. Beersheba is next to Gaza. So the part of my tribes are in Gaza. So nobody can just make more sort of emotion towards them like myself. I'm Gazawi. I like to eat in chilies. Gazan people, they like chilies. Harissa. Hot. We love it. I swallow it. So, but the thing is, I have to say, Afwani, this is not correct. I'm not accusing this person is to be siding with it. I'm just saying this is not right. People are being killed. So if you want to shoot somebody, you have to go on to a base where not children behind you. So these fighters, they're putting the children in front of them, where the other side is putting the children and the women behind to protect. So if you're going to shoot something and then you hide yourself and you hit yourself properly, and those airplanes come and kill those ones who have no weapons, you did not even train them, you did not even make them to be ready for this, be killed. Then after that, come countries and pay money to go and rebuild. How many times have we done this? How many times? Muslims have been dying, being killed. Muslims. And then after that, we attribute this victory not even to the Muslim Sunnah, to the Rafidah, to the ones who killed the Sunnah. This is in the name of Khamenei. This is in the name of Qasim Sulaiman. How can it be? One of the most biggest enemy to the Muslims are the Rafidah. You see, you could make a deal with the Christians because you know that with Muslims we're going to be making allies with the Christians before the time ends and finishes, and then they will betray. That's in the history. The Prophet ﷺ, he said to us, the Christian and the Jews, they don't have a hatred towards you because your name is Umar or your name is Abu Bakr. But the Rafidah, his existence is to wipe you out as a Sunni. His religion is that you should not be there. You know how dangerous they are? So there's no such thing that you did. So the Christian or the Jew or the country, you could give them a land, be happy. But these people, you give them everything, they will not be happy until you kill them. So one person from the Zarqawi, you know, Zarqawi, this Khariji person from Jordan, he had a follower. He spent in jail in Iran. Iran captured him. He was on the borders there. They captured him. He spent in the jail of Iran, can't remember, 1 or 2 days. Then America wanted him. They took him to Guantanamo. No, Guantanamo, prison, they all know. The orange outfit, you remember that? He spent about 1 year or 2 years, and then later on, they released him back to Jordan. And he was interviewed by, I can't remember, Jazeera Arabi, I can't remember. But I was there to listen to it, he said. And he wanted to, you know, every time they interview, they say something, he said, I want to say something. I want to say something just to make sure you understand. I would rather spend 1 year in Guantanamo Bay, but not even 1 hour in Iran prison. Do you understand that? The Iran prison, he said, those people are not people. They're not human beings. They drill you before they kill you. They drill you before they kill you. They enjoy you to be suffered. The Rafidah. So the Rafidah now, these are the people who are the cancer. Find them in Lebanon. This person who is Nasrullah, the end is actually protecting the northern border of Israel. He's there, Nasrullah. And then in Iraq, what they've done. In Syria, what they have done. In Egypt, what they're trying to do. In Yemen, what they have done. So they are, you know, you have to be careful to know your enemies. But alhamdulillah, they were exposed now. Ahl Sunnah, they know now. But sometimes they forget. Don't forget history. What they've done in Iraq. They had no respect to these Muslims. Ahl Sunnah, they were neighbors, they killed them. And that's why we have this big mixed plan is to make Ahl Sunnah to move out, to be exiled, and to pre-empty these lands for those people to run the show. أسأل الله عز وجل أن يثبت أقدامنا يا رب ويسأله سبحانه وتعالى أن يجعلنا من يستمع القول ويتبع أحسنه وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله